Good evening, everyone. This is TSI Analytics, your leading cryptocurrency analytics company. Now, today we're going to be discussing some fundamentals, and we're also going to make some projections and possible price movements of Bitcoin. Now, as many of you know, for the past couple of days, there were a G20 meeting of finance and central banks. And if you just go over to the calendar, it's on g20.org, and you can see that the past couple of days there was a second meeting of finance and central bank deputies in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And basically they were talking about finance in the world and possible laws to be enacted. And a lot of people were actually anticipating the comments on cryptocurrency on G20, and that's why right before the meeting, the whole week, the Bitcoin was falling down, and it fell, roughly from 11,000 all the way down to almost $7,900 for one Bitcoin. So Bitcoin didn't have a very good week. Now, why did that happen? Again, it happens because of uncertainty, possible attacks on cryptocurrency, and basically everybody was just waiting for everything to settle down, and they're waiting on some kind of crypto restrictions. But as we all know, restrictions did not take place, and one of the main people in the meeting, they've said that they're not going to attack Bitcoin, and that's why Bitcoin went up from 7,720 all the way up to almost $9,000 for Bitcoin. It just happened in a couple of days, last couple of days. Now, let's just discuss what happens with Bitcoin. Our governments are really going to try to restrict Bitcoin or do something to it. And I think that the whole idea of restricting Bitcoin is honestly ridiculous. Now, let's just bring analogy with internet. Now, let's suppose government comes out and criticizes internet. They say internet is bad, and it used to buy drugs online, or it used to buy guns online, and they're just gonna say, oh, okay, we'll just restrict the internet, or we're gonna limit internet usage somehow, or they're just gonna ban the internet overall. Now, you know what I mean. The whole idea is ridiculous. Nobody's gonna restrict internet, or they're never gonna shut internet down. It's just never gonna happen. Now, the same idea here with Bitcoins and with cryptocurrency overall. Yes, there might be some regulations, but overall, there's no way they're gonna restrict Bitcoin. There's no way they're gonna stop the whole cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrencies have proven to be far superior as when we talk about transactions. It's far better to use cryptocurrencies in transactions than just the normal currency. It's more efficient, it's faster, and the transfer fees and everything. You just look at the whole picture. I mean, nobody's really gonna restrict Bitcoins or any other cryptocurrency. And that's what they just said, and that's why we see the huge spike of volume here, and price bounced it up from $7,900. Now, there are actually two scenarios for Bitcoin price development. Now, let's take a look at that. As we talked about before, we have just started our new 5-wave Elliott cycle. And 5-wave Elliott cycle consists of 5 waves. So the first wave, the second one, the third one will come here. And it basically describes the price movement. So actually, we have 2 points here. And we are basically waiting for these price levels. So again, we're going to be waiting for the breakout of $11,980 and or the breakout of local maximums, and that means that the third wave has has taken place to be. So, but I must say that if price breaks down below 5,800, the whole scenario of third wave cancels, which means that Bitcoin just pretty much gonna tank all the way to 4,000, maybe even lower. So, but let's just talk about these two scenarios now. Why we think Bitcoin is going to go up? Well, first of all, we can definitely see some divergence here. And if we look at the MACD indicator, you can see that it went down here, but then when price reached new low, MACD didn't reach a new low. So that's what divergence, MACD divergence is, and that's a very strong bullish signal. So that one thing is definitely a strong indicator of Bitcoin going up to 11,980. Now, second thing is, let's just think about our fundamentals again. Like I said, nobody's going to restrict Bitcoin. This is what they've just said in J20 meeting. Now, another thing is the volumes. As you guys can see here, the volumes have started going up, and that's a very good sign. That means that people are actually buying Bitcoins. The amount of transactions on Bitcoin is rising, and there is actually a positive correlation between how many transactions are out there, volumes, and the price of Bitcoin. So just taking these indicators, just considering these indicators, we can anticipate that the price of Bitcoin will go up, and our point of entrance will be around $11,980, like I've just said. But again, if it breaks down below 5,800, the whole scenario, it cancels. Okay, so we've talked about that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for your attention, guys, and have good trading, and good luck.